like we just all need to turn our minds around the idea that this is for a while, and there won't be an arrival point.
But and like, we are resilient. We have had things happen before. I feel like we're seeing people. I mean, honestly, even when you think about when we talk about racial tensions, and I think the reason parts of that has even received more attention more recently, because we were in the midst of COVID, where you're sitting and you're thinking and you had time.
Yeah.
And you're not moving at 100 miles per hour. And
no distractions, no movies, no sports, yeah.
And I think that's brought a different energy to some of the things that we had been seeing, right? And so, I don't know. I'm always on all right, this is a strategy. Like, what's positive that's coming out of this? What are you grateful for in this moment? I mean, it's actually been, I moved to Houston a little less than a year ago. So I'm was anticipating to be able to travel back and forth to Michigan to see my family. It's really made me build a community here, and I have closer ties faster than when you typically move to a city. It takes a little time to build your world and, get to know people, whatever. And so it's wow, that's been nice about this. So really trying to be on the all right, it's tough. We acknowledge that, but how can we be grateful? How can we make it better? How can we, be creative?
I don't want to gloss over that very important point you just made about sitting still and ruminating, because I think that for as much as we were anticipating that everybody was going to be compelled into connectivity again with their families, some of the inadvertent or unintended consequences were that we sit and spun in our thoughts, and some of those thoughts have been around for quite a minute, and now they're coming to fruition. And I think that's a really important point that I had never considered until this moment. So I appreciate that too. That's fascinating. I'm gonna have to spend more time on that. I really want to honor your time, because you gotta get out of here. But I want to circle back just briefly maybe and pick your brain for a couple minutes on the worldwide experience that you referenced in the very beginning about Black people worldwide having experienced a lot of oppression. I know that, circling back to the archetype thing, there's this, dark equals bad, light equals good. And then we kind of play that out to skin tone. And so there's all these weird cultural introjects that happen. If you would just ramble a bit for that, because we're in America and we're talking about this, but this is an international podcast, and I want to pay heed to some of the different cultures that aren't uniquely American.
Absolutely. I mean, even though we largely do much of our work, in the U.S., when we talk about the people that have been in contact with us on social media and kind of just our website more generally, there is an international audience in that, right? And some of the things we hear, it feels very similar in regard to, in this particular community or in my family, it doesn't always feel safe to, talk about this problem. And even just thinking from an international perspective too, on some of the things we talked about, we just did an interview with for the mentee program, and one of the mentees, she's Haitian, and she talked about how in the Haitian community, particularly if you immigrate to the U.S., she feels like the expectation is to have very high academic performance, to, be really respectful of your elders, to really focus on whatever your achievement and goals are related to academics and success. And anything related to mental health or mental illness is almost not real. It's that's not real. You have to focus here. Or it could be perceived as excuses sometimes, for why you're not achieving. But your parents have sacrificed a lot to do certain things for you, right? And to move here, etc. So I think of those narratives or those shares that people have given us across time, about the multiple ways it can show up in culture, no matter where you are, and the multiple ways in which aspects of your racial identity or ethnic identity can really play out, and with really good intentions, right? This mother wants nothing but good things for her child, right? And so with really good intentions, and how that space isn't always made. And so I think that overlap is kind of seen, right? In that it's not always okay to even say you need the help. It's not always okay to actually go do the thing. And then when we do it, I don't always feel that when I do, I'm received fully.
Right.
completely or in a trusting space. So I can't speak to how a particular healthcare system works across aspects of the world, but I do know that there are those barriers that exist in that actual utilization and connection piece.
Yeah, I guess to sum it up, it's like the struggle is real and it's real everywhere.
Real everywhere.
Yeah, and often for the same reasons, which is, I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, we could have this conversation for hours, I'm sure, but I want to give the audience a takeaway, some kind of exhortation or invitation or something cool to just tuck under your pillow at night. So, what's one thing you would give as we close off here?
Yeah, I would just invite the audience to continuously learn more. I think sometimes we are content with the information that is more easily accessible to us or just kind of comes naturally. And I want to just encourage people to like think about the multiple ways in which whatever work you do can be more inclusive or more open to the range of cultures and people that exist, right? And think about like what can you do in your space that may promote that. And if that requires for you to learn a little bit more or to reach out to maybe people that have the expertise and you just facilitate that process or whatever, that is a way. So I think sometimes we talk about allyship and we don't really make people feel like they have like a direct set of steps, right? So continuously educating yourself, thinking about what roles you play and how you can move systems. Like what system are you in? How can you influence that system to move in the direction of equity, right? Of inclusion, of the power of things being diverse and different and unique are the power of that, right? That's a good thing. It creates a greater group for everyone.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, I love that. Was succinctly put. I appreciate that. Thank you. BlackMentalWellness.com. Anything else you want to leave for people to contact you or your colleagues?
Yeah, you can always contact us, info@BlackMentalWellness.com. If you want to contact me directly, I'm Dr. Busby at BlackMentalWellness.com. Check out our website. We have a ton of resources related to mental health and wellness, free resources. And we also launched a Authentically Me t-shirt campaign, which is different sayings on shirts that really represent each of our own areas of passion or experiences with our wellness journey. And we share that story with our following. And so those are also on the website. But
one of those up. What about social media?
Oh, social media, we're at Black Mental Wellness on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the NT.
At Black Mental Wellness.
Yep.
And it's been awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Danielle. Your time is very well honored and respected. I really deeply am grateful for it. And I know Safiso is also. And I will email you and hit you up about some other things because I think there's
a lot of connections to make happen.
Yeah, I love synergy, and I think there's good stuff coming from this. So thank you. I appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening, and I'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. On behalf of the Naga Notes team and the Zephyr Wellness family, we wish you all great mental wellness. Bye.